2014, the Sacramento Metro Chamber, in partnership with Sac State School of Business, was awarded the contract to administer around the Capital Region Small Business Development Center. Our Small Business Development Center serves 8 counties with 8 regional hubs in Sacramento, Placer, El Dorado, Yolo, Sutter, Yuba, Colusa, and Lake counties. The Metro Chamber took on this endeavor because it fits within our mission to support businesses and help them grow here in our region. After 2 years of operation, we have some very impressive and impactful numbers to announce. But first, I want to thank our federal partners and representatives for being here in support of this program and all of our efforts across the Capital Region. So I would like to acknowledge 3 very special guests that we have here with us today. First, Congresswoman Matsui, who represents us here in Sacramento, including the SBDC headquarters. Congressman Ami Berra from Elk Grove, who represents our Highway 50 and Elk Grove hubs. And representing Congressman Doug Lamalfa's office, District Director Lisa Mara, who represents, Congressman Lamalfa represents our hubs in Placer County, as well as our lead center in Chico. So thank you. I also want to thank and acknowledge our board leadership who helped spearhead this effort and see it through its first 2 years. James Beckwith, who chaired the board in 2014 and led the way to secure this program. Christy Black Davis, who led the board during the inaugural year of the SBDC in 2015. And Ashil Abbott, who championed the Small Business Development Center in 2016. Thank you all for your efforts. And we also have many members of the Metro Chamber's Board of Directors in attendance here today, and none of the programs that the Chamber puts on, including the Small Business Development Center, could be run without their support. So if you're a board member, please raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. The Small Business Development Center is a matching funds program and would not be here today without the financial support of many of our businesses and financial institutions. I want to specifically recognize 2 individuals who led the efforts to secure matching dollars. James Beckwith, CEO of 5 Star Bank, and Dave Roten, CEO of Safe Credit Union. Thank you for your efforts to make this possible. And I also want to recognize our incoming board, or our current board chair, Trish Rodriguez, CEO of Kaiser South, who has made our Small Business Development Center one of her top priorities during her chair year of 2017. So now it's my great pleasure to announce the Capital Region Small Business Development Center's 2-year accomplishments. From December of 2014 through December of 2016, the Metro Chamber's Capital Region SBDC was able to make huge impacts for our region, including 73 new businesses that were created within our region, 320 new jobs that are employing people here, and retaining 186 people in jobs through those businesses. And one of our most impactful numbers, we had 119 loans that infused over $21 million of capital into our small business community. These numbers are just the start, and as we continue to push forward with this free program for all small businesses and budding entrepreneurs, we will continue to see our region's economy flourish and thrive. The Metro Chamber is extremely proud to be making this kind of impact and helping drive an opportunity economy for our capital region. I want to introduce now one of our federal partners who helped secure this program with the Metro Chamber and Sac State. One of our strongest partners, Congresswoman Doris Matsui, who our representative here in Sacramento, all of Sacramento and West Sacramento, and there is no finer representative for our region's core and the development of urban jobs than Congresswoman Doris Matsui.
Thank you. I need to be a little bit taller here this morning. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate being here. This is already a success. I see so many people here that I worked with in the past as we were establishing small businesses here in Sacramento. You know, Sacramento is not the home of corporate headquarters, not yet anyway. But small business is really the engine of growth and strength here in Sacramento. We felt it when we went through the Great Recession, because what happened there many times was the state government office, obviously, it's no longer as big as it used to be. Development tanked. And what we had essentially with the small businesses struggling but trying to keep going. And that really does say a lot for our small business and Sacramento support here. I have to say that during my time here as a member of Congress, I've met with small businesses who always tried to have many innovative ideas, but couldn't get the resources they need. And with the Small Business Development Center that we established here, that I was pleased to be a part of, it really does focus people here to understand that there is a platform here with resources that bring people together, bring people to resources. I mean, you know, we have Dave Beckwith here. We have people, you know, I'm not getting this right, but we have Five Star Bank here. We have Safe Credit Union here. And what's happened here is these type of organizations and institutions have really partnered with all of us here. And honestly, it has been very, very helpful. And with other organizations too, the Women Business Owners, the Veterans Resource Centers, working together, they have connected and made small businesses understand that they have a home here in Sacramento. What I also like to say is that what's happening here in Sacramento is really being noticed throughout the country. And you will notice just recently that our housing market is very, very hot right now. And you couple that with the growing growth of small business here in Sacramento, you put the two together, you'll understand that as small businesses grow and connect here, people in the rest of the state and the rest of the country are beginning to notice that. Housing is really very important because as you attract people here, as people grow their businesses here, they're going to look around. They want to establish themselves and stay here. So the fact of the matter is that it's happening now. We're attracting businesses from the Bay Area. Housing costs astronomical. So working together, this has been a fabulous, fabulous type of operation.
Grow, and I think he has some. He can share about the recent loan that he got, and able to hire more people and to continue to expand his business. And he also just joined the Metro Chamber Board. So that's what we want to see with the SBDC. He's a good picture of somebody that starts with just an idea and scraps it together and eventually turns into a large business, hopefully a very large business at some point. So Matt Clemens with Digital Deployment, come on up.
All right, so I guess I've never had a real job. I started my company when I was 20 years old as a way to pay my way through college. And I'd love to say it was just because I was so excited about starting a business, but it was actually because I really did need to pay my way through school due to some changes. And what happened was I was able to start creating websites, started creating websites for some local organizations as part of school service learning projects, and then took it on full-time after getting my MBA at UC Davis. And I remember one of our first projects was Weave, which is a local nonprofit here. And we help organizations design their websites from the outside looking in instead of the inside broadcasting out. Most organizations will just kind of put their org chart online. But we help them add an escape button in the upper right-hand corner. And what that button does is if you are in a dangerous situation and you're trying to escape, and somebody bursts into the room and says, "What are you looking at?" You can click this button and it pulls up a fake Target website. It looks like you were shopping for bedding. Because one of the most important things we needed to do is to help these survivors. And sometimes designing from the outside looking in can really change the way you create your information and get your information out online. So we were passionate, and I started to add team members. And my first big project was with a Fortune 500 company. It's called AllData. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of AutoZone. It's a $500,000 contract. We were really excited. And I could not get any lending, any funding whatsoever to grow. So they said, "Well, you don't have a house?" It's like, of course I don't have a house. I just paid my way through school, you know? And so I didn't qualify. And I even went downstairs to my local Chase, and I couldn't even get a loan for $25,000. I was declined. And here I am trying to produce this $500,000 project. And so I shopped around, and then it was that time I connected with the SBDC. They referred me to some other partners. Then I wound back around to Five Star Bank, and I sat down with James Beckwith himself, and he said, "You know what?" And we'd just designed Jesuits High School site, and his son was going there, and it clicked, and they said, "Yeah, you know what? We could do this. We could do this." And so they gave us a $150,000 line of credit, and then moved on from there, went back for a $150,000 SBA, and then a $900,000 SBA to launch another business unit as we continue to expand. And so I just can't tell you how much that means to me as somebody who wants to provide my employees with health benefits. I have since my very first employee, and to be there for another employee who had cancer. I mean, this gives us the ability to do well and do good. And the best thing about all of this is I didn't have to go to the Bay Area to get $1 million of venture capital funding. I didn't have to give up 50% of my business. In fact, today, thanks to Incentive Stock Option Program, Digital Deployment employees own 40% of the company in this tax-deferred program. So we got to keep the ownership here in Sacramento and by the people doing the work. This is about worker empowerment and about creating a better way. But I could not have done it just through the commercial routes. We needed this public-private partnership. And I just can't thank you all enough for what you've done to make my business possible. Thanks.
At our doors at the SBDC, and Maria Harrington was eager to figure out how to do more with her business. So we partnered her up with Panda Morgan, and she was able to achieve some great things. And Maria, I'm going to have you come up and tell your own story. So, thank you.
Buenos días a todos. I'm so happy to be here. I actually, if I may share a small story about Bob Matsui and how he's so special with my family, and it kind of ties into everything. And so my father's from here, from the United States, my mother from Mexico, and they had a big dream to move to Mexico and start a business. It didn't go so well. My dad didn't speak a lick of Spanish. My mom's not so great at business, and they didn't have the SBDC or Panda Morgan there. And so they decided after getting pregnant with me that they had to come back here. I'm lucky. I would have been able to come later on. But it was Bob Matsui's signature who actually was able to get me here sooner. And so I didn't have to be separated from my dad for so long. So instead of a year and a half, 2 years being separated from my father, we were able to come here at 6 months. Family and community. That's what Casa de Español is. And it starts from there. My dad always taught me, and my mom always taught me when I was a child, that the only time that you look down is when you're picking someone else up, when you're looking down to help someone else. And I've had so many extended hands throughout my youth, throughout my adulthood. When I was in high school, I didn't think I was going to be able to go to a 4-year college because my parents couldn't afford it. And it was a program through the state that allowed me to do an SAT prep course. And that raised my SATs 200 points to be able to go to a 4-year college. I remember I was in Mexico and my dad received a letter that said that I had gotten a 4-year scholarship. My dad never thought that he was going to be able to pay college for me, and he was crying over the phone, so thankful for what I had been able to receive. On top of that, I came back here from the Bay Area after 10 years. I was from Sacramento, born in Mexico, but I still consider myself from Sacramento. And I was one of those kids that I've been hearing about that kind of leaves and tries to do what they can outside, not thinking back of Sacramento. My husband moved to San Diego. We met back here in Sacramento, and we decided we wanted to do something here. We wanted to build a business. We wanted to build a cultural center. A Latino hub where people could come together and their family in a little hole 700 square feet on J Street. We didn't know about the SBDC, we didn't know about other programs, and so on a credit card line, we thought, well, it's all or nothing. My parents were about to lose their house, so they couldn't help us, and his parents were also in trouble during the recession, so they couldn't help us. So we slowly but surely got out of little by little, and then we wanted to grow even more. And where do we go? I don't know. My husband said, I heard about this place called the SBDC. Why don't we check it out? And so I thought, oh, okay, well, let's try it. We'll see what they have to tell us. And that's where I met Panda Morgan. And she said, oh, I love your idea. And I thought, wow, another woman who's helping me. She understands what it's like to be able to work hard and have a business. And so, as everyone here has said, having your own business is so difficult, especially if you're not a business major. I'm a teacher. I studied to be a teacher, and I wanted to be a teacher. I didn't necessarily want to be on the back end. You know, you wear a million hats as a business owner. And she held my hand and she said, "Don't worry, we're going to do it together." And she said, "I have this great friend named Alfio from CDC. I'm going to hook you up." And so that's what she did. And I was able to get a business loan for $50,000 to be able to move over to our street. We got in just before we could never afford it again. And so we're just so lucky and so grateful to SBDC, CDC, and other programs where it's not just providing you a pamphlet and here, figure it out yourself. It's someone who extended their hand to us to be able to pull us up from the ground and say, "You can do it, I believe in you." And all of the work, I know that there's so many countless hours that people do not get paid. As a teacher, I understand that. And just realize and please know that we're so grateful. So many of us who have been able to be helped are just so thankful. And we hope that you can continue with your work as well as ours. At Casa de Español at the moment, we have over 400 students and growing. We have students who are Spanish speakers, who are little ones, and they want to be able to continue their Latino heritage. And we have ESL students who they all receive a full scholarship for offering free tutoring to our Spanish students. And so we're continuously doing work with La Familia Counseling Center, etc., to be able to make ourselves a hub of the Latino community, but not just for the Latino community, for everyone. And so that way together we can build family and community.
So Scott said it. This is the beginning of our tenure as running the Capital Region Small Business Development Center. We couldn't be prouder. We couldn't be more excited to look at 2017 and beyond in ways in which we can continue to support and grow the business community. So thank you all for joining us this morning. Thank you for all of our partners for being here and celebrating this wonderful accomplishment of the Capital Region Small Business Development Center.